projecting in my tiny room.
Use your theater voice, Pete.
I will use my theater voice. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? Good.
Hello.
All right. Now that technical difficulties are over. Hi, I'm Pete. This is Ponderings of Pete. We're going to talk about some Sanderson stuff today. I'm not going to mess with it. It's fine. So, as everybody probably knows, there's a thing that happened today where Sanderson dropped an announcement. If you haven't watched that announcement yet, I would definitely go watch it and then come back. Because
Oh, sorry, Pete. I was just going to say, Brandon wants everyone to watch his video so no one spoils it for him. So even if you're feeling lazy, listen to the man.
Yes, go watch the video because this will have spoilers for that entire video. Oh, awesome. Literary Medium said they were talking about it at work today. That's awesome. If I sound quiet or I sound normal but I sound weird, it's because my mic is being weird. And yeah.
It sounds better now.
Oh, no. You're muted.
Oh, somehow. No, Pete, no.
Oh, that was the mute button.
Yeah.
That's why it sounded better. So, slight buzzings. Me and sound don't have a good thing. So, I have guests. We have guests. We were like, we have to do this. Over here, we have...
Oh, I'm introducing myself. Hi, I'm Kate, the Almost Book Doctor. And I have not done any Sanderson videos on my channel yet. But he is my favorite author, and I will be posting some soon. That's a little plug for my own channel.
Yep, and I'm Gregory LaPerche. I have not actually read any Sanderson in 2022, really, or in 2021 either, really. But I just like binged basically all his stuff in 2020, and it was great. So yeah, definitely ready for getting back into reading Sanderson stuff.
Are you gonna do Cytonic in March, Greg?
Hopefully, maybe. We'll see if I actually get to it.
No, that's a no then.
I've said I was definitely gonna get to it like the last 4 months, and then I just get distracted and don't read as much as usual. So yeah.
That happens.
It happens to me too.
I personally have to get to Skyward myself. Yeah, I have to get to Skyward. It's fun.
It's hard when it's not the Cosmere stuff and you love the Cosmere stuff so much. It's hard. I really liked Skyward. I haven't read Starsight yet or Cytonic or any of the novellas for that world, but it's hard to shift from Sanderson when your heart is in one direction with him.
Absolutely. I've heard a lot of good things, and I kind of want to get in on the jokes, basically, is one of the reasons why I really want to read Skyward. I have it on my TBR somewhere. But anyway. Yes, this is truth. This is a lot of truth right here. Everything's on the TBR. It's great. Yes. So, the announcement. I think what we're going to do is we're going to start with like a non-spoiler.
No.
Don't.
Yeah, don't touch that thing. Okay.
Yep.
Metal things. Sorry.
So no spoilers, and then we'll talk about spoilers.
Yeah. So we're going to do our best not to spoiler other things in the Cosmere because, I don't know, evidently Sanderson fans are notorious about randomly spoiling things.
I think we've been guilty of that on Wine Wednesday a couple times, Pete.
Probably, yeah.
Specifically the three of us.
It's even highly likely.
Yeah. Talking about like the world sometimes and how, and like the Cosmere and stuff, and how like just establishing how things are connected can be kind of spoilery.
Yeah.
But
I think the one thing that I don't technically consider spoilers, I could be wrong, is talking about like unpublished works, as long as you're not talking about like the connections to other things or random facts. I could be wrong in that though.
I think there's one exception. We were talking about it earlier though. One character that we can't talk about yet.
We'll mention his name, but that's basically all that we'll say in the non-spoiler section.
Yes.
Pete, why don't you tell us what the announcement was?
So the announcement was that Sanderson secretly wrote 5 books. Not 1, not 2, 5, because this man doesn't sleep. Even though he claims to.
And has a flair for the dramatic, apparently.
And he has a flair for the dramatic. So, talking about the announcement real quick, I know there are some people that had gripes with it. Were either of you didn't like the way he did it or anything along those lines?
Go for it, Greg.
Well, okay, so I didn't actually see the original video yesterday, but he was vague, and then people thought that he had health issues or something, and then he clarified on Twitter saying he didn't have health issues. But yeah, I don't know. To me, it seemed obvious, even though I hadn't seen it. Someone messaged me and was like, he sent out a cryptic message, and I followed Sanderson for over 3.5 seconds, so I just figured it was him announcing secret books or something. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's sometimes tough because if you want to announce an announcement in a cryptic way, that leaves a lot of room for everyone to think different things.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it until I saw you guys talking about it on Discord, and then I was like, wait, what? What is happening? And I immediately put on his stream. But yeah, or the video, but I had no idea. And when I saw that, I mean, I guess I never really got the surprise compared to everybody else, because the very first message I saw was Greg's message in the Sanderson chat saying that he wrote 5 books. And so for me, it wasn't any sort of surprise, though I can totally see where some people would get upset, but I don't feel like Sanderson himself would be the kind of person to set up some big dramatic reveal for something terrible like I have cancer or something like that, because
yeah, that'd be weird.
He's not that kind of person. I feel like someone who would do that is kind of attention seeking or something like that, if they're making it that big of a deal. So if someone like Sanderson probably had that sort of thing to talk about with people, A, would you even want to disclose that to a bunch of people? I feel like it would be something you'd keep private for a long time. And B, probably would be in a more, I don't know, respectful way than some sort of Twitter post in a YouTube video. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I think the main reason people didn't like it, there are actually 2 reasons. One is the whole hey, we were concerned for you, which I think he mitigated, and he does have the flair for the dramatic. And I think I don't know, people get too attached to celebrity personalities, which I don't know, that can be harmful sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So seeing him as it's the whole parasocial relationship discussion about how healthy those are. I think I wasn't mad because I was definitely glad that nothing was wrong with him. Especially after seeing that Twitter post, I was like, okay, so it's nothing serious. He might need a break. That's fine. I did think it was something negative too, though, and I definitely laughed. I enjoyed it to a certain extent, because he was just trolling. It was kind of funny.
I definitely felt like it was very trolly. I enjoyed it.
Did you see the video yesterday, Pete?
I did.
There was a video
as it came out.
Okay.
I didn't know there was a video yesterday.
Yeah, it was just short, and that's what the controversy is, because he was cryptic or whatever.
Yeah, so he had a Lost Metal update video. It was his weekly update video where he was like, I'm doing more revisions to the Lost Metal, and it's taking a little bit longer than normal. And then he was like, and I have something to tell you. There'll be a video tomorrow. And the lighting and everything was set up in a very dramatic way to make him look like he was sweating and not looking. The shadows were on his face pretty heavy.
Oh, so that was the point.
Yeah, it was the point to be dramatic.
Okay. So he's just being a little butt-faced. That's fine.
Yeah, he was.
And then the
You
start
don't-
of the video today with the dramatic piano and stuff.
Oh my
I'm like,
gosh,
oh
yes.
no.
His
As soon
script
as-
that he wrote was ridiculous. What was I gonna say? Crap. I had a thought and it left. It just left. Like poof. But yeah, I kind of thought it was funny how he did it. I don't think I would have been upset if I had seen the video. Now I kind of want to watch what he said yesterday.
Yeah, you should. It's
Okay,
it's,
thank God
in
you don't.
retrospect, it's kind of funny. This is where I was at. I was like, we're probably gonna have to wait an extra year for Stormlight 5. I'm like,
No.
it would have been terrible, but like, I'm one of those people that don't think that authors owe anything to their fans beyond what they've already written. So
Yeah.
if I had to wait another year, I'd be fine. Anyways, the other dimension that I've seen one or two people kind of upset about. I say one or two, but there's a group of people on one of our Discords that are just like, is the cost of everything in relating to the Kickstarter. Like specifically, the shipping costs are exorbitant. Oh yeah, exactly. This is like, I think the bigger one. Almost, now that I'm backtracking.
So I understand when you see. So I think what isn't clear, or what wasn't clear when at least I looked at the prices initially, can't talk, wow, is whether or not the shipping costs were total for everything or if it was each month. And each month, that would be absolutely freaking ridiculous. Like, no way. But if you look at the shipping cost, at least to the US, when you break it down individually, it's not that terrible compared to shipping that you pay for lots of other things. And it's just big when you look at it in a lump sum like that. But I do think that for international shipping, and especially for like Canada, that's absolutely ridiculous because I think it's double the US.
Yeah, it's like literally double what the US is. It almost doubles the price of some of the batches or whatever. Yeah, 420. Like it's wild. So, if you get the top tier, you're paying over $1,000 for all of this.
It's insane. And I feel like I wish we got to look or see some of the stuff that was going to come in these swag boxes so that we could tell if it was going to be worth the money when we are paying up front for something like that, because it could be really cool, or it could be stuff that you're never, ever, ever going to use. And I don't think that Dragon Steel has ever put out anything that I would say is not good quality or that will like break really easy or anything like that. But do I want to spend what was the difference? It's like $320 or something just for the swag boxes if you get that and the hard covers. Like that's just that portion, and it's so much just for a bunch of swag if it's not like cool things that you're actually going to use or actually going to enjoy.
Yeah,
That's
this is my thoughts for at least US shipping. I thought US shipping, like, while it was like a whoa, that's expensive, but then when you break it down to $10 a month, I do think that's reasonable. Like, but like, because that's oof. Yeah, Practically Mystic. There's a video in the description you should go to. It's Sanderson doing an announcement.
Yes.
So go to Sanderson's video, the "I'm Coming Clean" video, where he's being. So go there, and then come back.
I do feel a little guilty for being so excited about this while all of this horrible stuff is going down in Ukraine. Like, I feel a little bit guilty about it because I feel like I should be putting energy into that, but
Life
I
goes
think-
on.
I don't want to compare everything to a relationship, but I feel like if you're, that's not a good way to go at it. But I don't know. I'm happy about this. I'm sad and I'm mad at Russia. I just compartmentalize it all, in my opinion. So
I've been doing that for years. So
That's how you function, Greg, because you know
Yes.
so much about the seedy parts of the world that you still believe in hope. You are an expert compartmentalizer. Your brain must be like those lunch trays that you give you in like junior high, where there's all
Yeah.
separated.
That is actually a picture of my brain.
How large is the Cosmere square compared to?
it's metal. It's the circle part in the middle. It's the biggest part.
Yeah, it's the entree part.
The entree. Love it. Okay, I'm glad I wasn't the only one, Jess. And I know that might be some people might think that it's silly, but I have been feeling like that for a while, like how to justify like worrying about what's happening in the world and then like individual happiness at home. But that's not what this conversation is about. So you and I should talk about that on Discord because I would like to talk to somebody who wants to talk about that with me. So
this is kind of where I'm at. I'm like, I'm going to keep track of Ukraine, and if there's things that I can do, I'm gonna do my best to do them. But I'm also gonna find joy where I can, because joy, especially the further we get into dire times, the rarer joy will be. So the more joy that we can take now, the more joy that we can find without harming other people, essentially.
I feel like Syl and Lift would be on your same page.
Yeah. I mean, I'm also an adrenaline junkie, so give me a plane to jump out of and I'm fine.
Oh, good Lord. So yeah, so that was the announcement. Do we want to break? I don't know how we want to do this. I took some notes about, because after he did the announcement, guys, if you didn't watch, he did a live stream for 2 hours. And because I am on spring break for med school and don't have to do anything, I sat there and watched the whole thing and took notes because I want to figure out what these books are about. So I don't know if you want to talk about what we know about each book, or Pete, do you have a picture of the covers that we can show?
I have all the covers.
Yeah,
I want to
pull up the
clarify
cover.
this real quick for like people to get stuff from their library.
Yes.
So in ebooks and audiobooks, they will be releasing about the same time. The hardcover and paperback editions that are beyond the Kickstarter will probably not be released until like 2024, 2025. Because just they don't have actual publisher. They don't have a bigger publisher that's going to mass produce these for them. Outside of their normal indie publishing routes that they go. So I think ebooks and audiobooks, if you want to read them sooner, are the way to go. If you want to collect them all, you're going to have to wait a little bit if you don't want to do the Kickstarter, which is kind of sad. But I think that's just the nature of the surprise part of this.
I think, and check me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure because I use Audible, and so I have credits and stuff. And he did say that they will be available on Audible and Kindle. I think. Did he say Kindle or no? He said e-readers. But the e-reader for the Kickstarter, it's $40 for all 4 books, which $10 a book is not that bad, and you'll get them right when they're released. And then I think I have the thing up on my computer, and the audiobooks are $60 for all 4, and so $15 an audiobook. And I don't know how expensive audiobooks tend to be. I know Audible subscription is like 14 something a month, usually the normal one. And I just looked on the page and I was making a face while you were talking, Pete, because he's almost at $10 million.
Right?
$10 million.
That's wild. Like, he's blown through the Way of Kings leatherbound thing. And I think that we have more backers than Way of Kings did too.
Interesting. That's interesting that what Andrew is saying, that Tor is going to call and ask for a deal to sell the books.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he could get a deal within the next week or so. I wouldn't be surprised if the call that he had at 3:00 dealt with that.
Yeah.
But
why should he? I think one of his reasons for doing this, he talked about it because I think someone asked him why he didn't go the traditional publishing route. And he said that his deal with Tor is different than it is with a lot of other authors, and like he is kind of like a secondary publisher for all of his own stuff. And so I think he's trying to move into making Dragonsteel publishing like more of a heavy hitter, at least for his stuff.
I'll be interested in talking about the future of Dragonsteel, like seeing if they ever start publishing other people's stuff besides Sanderson. Like I will, that day will be a very interesting day, I think, if they decide to do that. Which, if they want to continue on past Sanderson, they will probably do. But maybe he's teaching at BYU in order to serve as a funnel into Dragonsteel eventually.
Yeah, I feel like probably a lot of people that work there are former students or whatever.
And he has talked a lot about a lot of the people, like especially around November last year, with all the people in Dragonsteel that were doing NaNoWriMo. Like that right there, I think that Dragonsteel could definitely be an avenue for them. But that, of course, is just knowing the right people, I guess.
Yeah.
Traditional bias.
I love that he said when he was telling people, oh yeah, I'm going to do NaNoWriMo this month, just, for fun. And he was like, well, JK, I was rewriting a second draft of one of these books. And I was just using that as an excuse to not say I'm working on my other stuff.
Yes, Brian McClellan was his student. I actually want to know his true NaNoWriMo count, because I don't think the NaNoWriMo count he gave us for what was it, Skyward 4, was his true word count now. But yeah,
wow.
This is true.
He's been lying to us. It's all a lie.
Everything is a lie. Sanderson is his own ghostwriter.
Yes.
I thought we talked about that. I was his ghostwriter.
Oh wait, no. Kate's his ghostwriter.
No way.
Do we want to talk about the books now?
There are Sanderson clones. That's what's happening. Yes, let's talk about the books. Okay.
Yeah. Put up that picture, Pete.
All right, let's see how we do this, because I only have one screen, so it's going to be interesting.
I'll go over the Cliff Notes version of what he said in the live stream later, and he had connection issues and stuff. But basically, 4 of the 5 books will be in these boxes, and the boxes will go for, there's one every 3 months in 2023. Books, 3 of the 4 books are in the Cosmere, and the other one's just a different book. And then in the live stream, he said that the second one is going to be the non-Cosmere one. The first and the third books seem to be more independent and seem to be like a place where you can start to get into the Cosmere. And then the fourth book, he said, was a character that we've seen in one of his other series. So that's maybe not a good starting point for new Sanderson people. And we'll probably not talk about the fourth one at all, I assume, until we get into spoilers.
Probably.
Yeah, pretty much.
Book 2, I believe he said, was science fiction. I believe.
Think it's really obvious that it's science fiction.
With the gun on the cover, yeah.
With
okay,
the
but
gun?
he's wearing like a wizard hat too, okay? So...
he's like a wizard with a sci-fi gun. It's pretty cool.
Also, I would point out since we're talking about the non-Cosmere work first, Secret Project 2 is going to be a multiverse project. 1, at the very bottom there, you see the world, because that's obviously Europe and Africa.
Wait. You see what? Because we don't see anything.
You don't see anything yet?
Oh, no. Yeah. Are you sharing screen?
I don't think you're sharing, dear.
Oh,
right.
There we go.
Trippy things and not trippy things now.
Okay.
Boom. All right. So at the bottom, you can see. Oh wait, you can see my mouse. This is the world. You can see Europe. Hey, there's Britain and everything else, the Mediterranean Sea. Yep. And then you see other worlds right here, like that. You can see the shape of Africa. You can see the shape of Africa up there, and there's more Africa.
More Africa. Another Africa.
Another Africa.
25,400,000 babies. Sorry.
Wakanda?
It's a really bad quote. Okay, so looking at this now, it's like he's holding a book and he has this crazy ray gun thing and he's wearing a wizard hat. And why do I want it to be multi-dimensional Dungeons and Dragons?
That would be dope.
That's what I
That
wanted
would be
to be.
great. This wasn't the first one he did, because the first one he did for his wife was this one.
Yes.
I think this one, I don't remember if he said this one was for his wife or not.
The first one, yeah. I think the first one was so he said he's releasing them in the order that he wrote them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so the second book that's not Cosmere is the shortest of all of them. The first one is the one he originally wrote for his wife. The third one, which if you scroll over, has a really pretty pink and blue cover, which I think has to have romance in it. He said that that's most people's favorite so far out of all of them, and it's his favorite and his wife's favorite. In that one was the most like planned out of all of the books, which I find intriguing. And that 1 and 3 are kind of connected, but kind of not connected. I don't know. He was very, very mysterious on his, yes. And then 4 is a whole other. I hate that I go in the wrong direction. Yeah.
So, do you guys have any other thoughts on what 2 might be about? Maybe it's a Rhythmatis sequel. I mean, that it can't be.
I don't think it is, but I have his list of unpublished work stuff, and I told you like there's this interesting one that he's talking about that you don't think that it's going to be. If I can find it,
he added like a ton of new concepts to it.
He must have, but
because it was already wild to start with.
Yes, why can't I find it? It used to be called Death by Pizza, and now it's apparently called Songs for the Dead, and I don't know if this is it at all, but it has something about a necromancer pizza delivery man in it, and I just find that that's ridiculous, and if any of the books are going to be ridiculous, it's going to be that one. So other than that, maybe it's something he just hasn't really talked about with anyone before.
Yeah, I think it's possible, but he would have had to add a lot more to it. Because, like, if you look at this, we already got multiverse theory. We have sci-fi. And Necromancer Pizza Delivery Guy, I mean, it's going to be sci-fantasy automatically. So the sci-fi is going to be there. But it's like, there's one tenuous connection. But I think multiversal rock and roll Necromancer Pizza Delivery Guy is a bit too much for the average brain.
But
like
this is Brandon Sanderson's brain, not the average brain.
I mean, at the very least, that's Terry Pratchett level of ridiculousness, if not more.
You're right. That is Terry Pratchett level. I just need to shout out to Jess. Greg just got that Power Thirst reference. We're not the only people who know Power Thirst. I'm so proud.
Good. Yes.
I do like I want a popcorn everywhere, and I shouldn't do this, but I like the idea of a shard romance story, and now I'm going to shut up.
Also, yeah, I do think the second book has like the same art style as Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians.
I wonder if he's doing like an adult crossover Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians.
I don't know.
I haven't even read it, so.
Well, it would not work because the map would be different. I've read the first one. Back when I was in middle school, I read the first one, actually. And one of the premises of Alcatraz and the Evil Librarians is that there's 2 more continents.
Oh.
Like, literally just that have been hidden by librarians. It's really weird.
Are they extra Africas?
No, they're like in the Atlantic Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, I think, respectively. But if it was Alcatraz, I think that we can clearly see that, semi-clearly see. I mean, in the one in the upper right, we see that there's no continent.
Yes.
So I don't think it's connected to Alcatraz. I think it is entirely standalone. And he might have mentioned it before. I think he's had one project called like Star Fury or something.
Yes. Sorry, I'm gonna look up. I have the page open. Keep talking.
Yeah, so that one he's tangentially mentioned. I don't think he's told us anything besides his ever-changing project name for it.
Okay, but Starburner.
Starburner.
It was called Soul Burner, and it says a space opera / fantasy hybrid, which would work with that cover. But
Boom.
all it says is that there is an outline completed. It may be a good fit for a video game and could be renamed Starburner. Brandon continues to reference it being worked on, albeit cryptically.
Yeah, this is Starburner. Like, okay, he said he's been lying to us for the past 2 years. There's this one, Starburner, and one other project that he's been talking about a lot that I'm like, one of these books has to be this book.
You know so much more. You must be way up to date on your words of Brandon. I am not.
I had 1 or 2 lines of thought that I was looking into that I looked into. I random stuff. Shout out to 17th Sharp for actually like summarizing all the words of Brandon in
Oh,
video
they're
that
amazing
I can
out there.
actually, like, listen to while I work.
Does that look like, I don't know why I'm pointing, like you can see what I'm pointing at.
I can see
In
your
the
fingers.
the back of the second book, doesn't that look kind of like a teleportation beam or something, like from a spaceship? That's what it makes
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what it reminds me of, definitely.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Do we think that we're going to get a lot more detail to these covers as they actually come out? Like, do we think that that the person on these 2 covers is going to be like less silhouetted once the actual cover comes out?
Yeah, I think it's possible. This could not even be like the final cover. It could just be like a teaser piece of art or something.
I mean, I don't think they're going to release the book with secret project number 2 written all over
Yes.
it.
Well, that's true as well.
That would be really funny, though.
That would be really funny. Like, you have to open the book to actually see the title.
Yes.
Yeah. Didn't Kendrick Lamar make like release songs that were titled like nonsense or something, like just like letters and stuff?
I think so.
It's possible. I mean, there's always that one Tumblr post that's like, if I was a musician, I would make a track titled Untitled Album and then name each track Album 1 and then just have a generic Apple Music like symbol that's like the blank music symbol with the silvery stuff as the background. So make it so hard to find for people.
You know how much copyright you'd have to pay to get that Apple Music symbol on your album?
Yeah, probably.
You would
You'd
probably
have to use like
this
a pair or something.
a pair.
Yeah. Trust me, this isn't related to the company Apple. It's just
Oh
a
yes.
different fruit.
Going iCarly, are we?
I don't. So I definitely agree with Greg. Like, I think they could put more detail on the covers. I don't necessarily. Whoa.
Sorry, I wanted to look at the comments real quick.
Oh, you're fine. I don't really know if I'd want them to be different. I kind of like the covers the way they are now, maybe with a little bit more detail, but I do think that they're pretty and they're very different than the other stuff. And one thing that I just realized that's kind of cool is that all editions of this book are going to be the same. There's not going to be any US versus UK cover differences. Hey, be nice. It is not.
I have talked about that also stolen from Tumblr idea of where if I was a writer, I would release a book with 10 endings and tell people there were 11.
Yes, we talked about this. So you could
I remember that.
Have people searching and searching and searching to get all of them.
And then
they
tell
would
them
never
that was a canon ending as well. Like, oh my gosh. I've always been a book troll in a book cave. I don't know where you've been.
Have you not watched his book Tetris videos, Allie?
Yeah, exactly. Apocalypse Guard is in it. Has it a multiverse? Okay, I don't know that much about Apocalypse Guard.
I have Steelheart, but I haven't read it.
Steelheart was okay. It was too YA for my taste because I was reading it back when I was getting out of the YA sphere. I read it because Divergent was really like the nailing in the coffin for me because like that entire series was the first time I recognized what bad writing was, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then the ending, I despise the ending to Allegiance so much. And I've blocked most of it out of my brain.
Yes, I will agree with those statements. I will agree. That was probably the last like YA thing that I read.
Yeah.
That's not like, now that I'm an adult, knowing that I'm going back to read YA and I have different expectations now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When I still thought that was good, like the epitome of good writing. Don't ask me why I thought that was good when I had read Robin Hobb when I was younger, but for some reason,
Robin
young,
Hobb slips
naive.
under the radar, I think, when it comes to like good writing when you're younger, because like you don't realize how good she is because her writing flows so well. Anyways,
Getting distracted.
tangent.
Put the picture back up so we can talk about the other covers.
I'll put the picture back up. Be prepared for multiverse real quick. Share screen. Share screen.
The first one has a big moon.
The Bifrost, the Einstein-Rosen bridge. Okay, I did read something. So I went and like read all the stuff he had that there was on the 17 Shard about his unpublished works. And there is a book that he had an idea for that is like a sci-fi story based around the Fermi Paradox, which I think would be so cool. So
Enlighten me what the Fermi Paradox is real quick.
So the best way to explain it is like there are aliens, there is extraterrestrial life, there are other civilizations out there, but we are not advanced enough to understand who they are, what they are, or even to comprehend that they exist. And so usually the best description is like, imagine that you're an ant living in an anthill next to a highway. Are you going to know what a highway is? Are you going to know what a car is? Can you even fathom what that is? So they're there. You just aren't developed enough to understand. And so that's the idea that we as beings are not developed enough, enlightened enough scientifically to understand that there are these.
The Expanse plays with that a little bit. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand that. Cool. I think
Anyway, that's definitely not what this book is about, but it would be really cool.
I don't know. It could be.
Eventually.
I don't know. Maybe that's an interesting one that it could be. You're right. And then whatever the Apocalypse Guard one that JJ mentioned, that could also be it.
Mm-hmm. So Secret Project 1, Greg is right. I didn't realize that was a giant moon, but you're totally right.
Andrew says that's no moon.
Oh gosh, that's no moon.
Sanderson is putting a Death Star on his cover. That's brilliant.
I'm trying to see. There's like, are there circles on the moon, or is that like?
I'm not sure if those are circles or what. Like there are like little circles here, which I think might be detailing on the moon.
That's definitely a mermaid, right? And there's a cup sitting behind her.
There's a cup, but we don't see the bottom half.
I mean, I guess it could be someone sitting on the rock, but it gives very mermaidy vibes.
But you're right. Yeah. It looks a lot like a mermaid.
I did not notice the wine glass there.
Greg, how did you miss the wine glass?
I don't know.
We're going to get more detail on this cover, and it's going to turn out to have pink wine. And Greg, you're just going to be so ashamed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. This book is going to be, you know how they have like the different color wine in Stormlight? This will be on a different planet, but then the wine gives you powers.
The Alephi pink wine.
Yep.
I mean, people definitely think they have powers when they're
drunk, yes.
Yeah. Greg,
what powers do you get when you're drinking pink wine?
Being able to see the future.
Oh, okay. So
Greg.
Are you drinking pink wine right now?
Yes. I drank pink wine before the stream. Wow, that was a funny time to misspeak. So I know what these books will be about in the future. So, yes, as
go ahead.
Okay, sorry. It says in the post as well, each also takes you to someplace new, original, and vibrant. So do you think these will all be like different worlds? Like there won't be any of these on planet in the Cosmere that we've already been to or whatever?
I think in the stream that I watched, he said that they're not going to be on planets that we've already been to. Like it's new places.
Drat.
So I don't think that they're actually going to be necessarily like complete sequels to anything or complete prequels. If anyone else watch and can correct me, but like I know that for book 1, the things that I've written down about it are that it's very, very, very different than Stormlight Archive or the Mistborn stuff that he's been working on, or even like Cytonic. Like he said that part of the reason why he started writing it, because it was the first one that he wrote, was because he needed to do something completely different. And he said that the world building for all of these books is way out there for him. A lot different than other stuff that he's done. He said that the world building is more akin to like the Stormlight world building, where we have the crazy plants and crustaceans and all the weird stuff that's not very normal to us. But that the first book is even weirder, which is why, guys, I think it's the Kite Magic book. I think it's the Kite Magic book.
The first book.
Yes.
So I have a different I think that this one is probably the most likely to be Kite Magic as well, for several different reasons. But I have another theory that literally the only reason it's here because of the moon. What if that's not a moon? What if that's Roshar?
And this is a moon to Roshar or something?
Yeah. So the only thing I can say is Ashen right now, but when we get back to the spoiler stream, like the spoiler part of the stream, we can come back to this thought.
I forgot that I shouldn't mention that because spoilers. So I guess looking at these covers now and hearing you say that, because I didn't think about that before, my 3-in-1 could be switched for me, my thought process, because 3 could also be the Kite book because the cover looks very whimsical, right? Yes. When I saw the first book, I was like, wow, that reminds me of what I would picture Syl looking like. And so I was like, oh my God, is that going to be Syl? But no, it's like not going to be. But so that you say Roshar, it's like, has anyone thought about perhaps any of the books taking place in the cognitive realm?
I've thought about it, yeah. That's what the third book looks
I think
like.
that we should get back to this conversation about the cognitive realm when we come to spoilers.
Okay, spoilers. I'm so sorry, guys.
No, you're good.
The first book is The Little Mermaid, only in the Cosmere. I want to be where the Spren are.
Exactly. I think this, to talk about the Kite Magic, because I don't consider the Kite Magic spoilers right now.
No, only if we talk about the shards. That would be spoilery.
Yeah, I mean, even talking about the shard related to the Kite Magic is like, there's one, what's it called?
Is it actually a spoiler? Because we literally know nothing about it other than the fact that it's whimsy.
Yeah, literally, whimsy's been mentioned once, and I don't think, do we have confirmation that the Kite Magic was whimsy?
Yes.
Okay, we do. That's it. That's all we know.
From the words of Brandon.
We know there's a shard, and if you don't know what a shard is, we'll probably talk about that in the spoiler part too. That's named Whimsy. It's an uber magical thing. Yes. So Kite Magic is something that he's talked about. Like he's mentioned this a lot. Like I was going into the words of Brandon. Yes, Whimsy is a shard. We'll talk about where we get confirmation of that later. It was a random thing that Brandon dropped in the middle of something. But he's talked about this a lot. Like I literally went to like the Arcanum, like 17th shard has this literally just list of all the words of Brandon. And I searched Kite Magic. And there was like 6 or 7 different mentions of Kite Magic in the last 2 years. All of which were he cryptically referenced, and he was like, I want to write this eventually. And then if you look at him talking in the stream earlier today, he's like, yeah, there's a bunch of times where I had to say that I was eventually going to work on something when I was actually working on it. So like, it's pretty much confirmed we're getting Kite Magic in one of these 4 books.
Yeah.
Which is super exciting.
So, okay, so here's a way to talk about this without spoiling one of the other ones. So Brandon has talked about a couple of different magic systems that he's been working on, and even if you haven't really read anything in the Cosmere, this doesn't spoil anything. This doesn't really have anything to do with that yet because we don't know how it fits in. But there's the Kite Magic system that he wanted to make a book about, which we don't know anything about other than that it's Kite Magic, and I can imagine it's super fun. And then he also wanted to make a place with a magic system where diseases give you magic, which as a medical person, like I find that so cool. And so the idea is that when you are infected with a certain microbe, you get certain powers. And you can only have those powers as long as the microbe is in your body. So it's like this give and take. I get this power, but I have these bad side effects. And I'm assuming that some bugs that give you more extreme powers also have more extreme side effects and might kill you sooner. So there's this like give and take between what am I willing to sacrifice for this power, and can I like give up stamina versus like having the ability to fly or whatever. Like there's all this sorts of cool compromising that you might have to do. And so that's another one that I think we might be getting as well, just because he said he's doing some really weird things that he's wanted to do and hasn't been able to fit it anywhere.
So that particular magic system, I'm not going to say what it's connected to, but but it's entirely possible that we don't get it as well, because I know there was a word of Brandon. I think it was from 2020. So this could have changed and he could have done the research. But he said that he was waiting to do that one because he had to do a lot more research on immunology before he wrote that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. Like he was like, it would be massive. So,
but in the oh no, did I just delete? No, I didn't. Okay, but in the live stream today, he said that his science people are having headaches right now trying to figure out how to make what he wants happen scientifically sound, which is the only reason why I was like, maybe we're gonna get this magic system, because he's talking about science. It could be something completely different because he does all sorts of weird stuff. But 10.2 million, oh my goodness.
Wow. We're not really into spoilers yet.
Yeah, but this isn't spoilers. This has absolutely nothing to do with anything that's already been happening in the Cosmere. This is just random things that Brandon talks about when he is excited and goes into puppy mode. Because
I think it's super interesting. I missed that part where he said that, like, hey, we're I missed the science part that you said. I think I was probably on a call with somebody or whatever. But that's wild. That does make it go up a lot. So yeah, you're right. I think it's definitely still possible. So I don't know if you would consider that a new project. It definitely would be a standalone project from what we've heard of it.
Any thoughts, Greg?
Not really. No. I do. I was just looking at his works earlier, and I feel like he's doing this, at least in part, because he wants to make new magic systems, and he hasn't undergone a big magic system style project in quite some time. And yeah, so I don't know about, like, will it be kite magic? Will it be like some other thing? Is kite magic like a false flag that he's secretly been planting in his videos for the last 2 years? I have no idea. But
that would be wild if he
that would be pretty funny. And
mad.
He could do that too, because he's a massive troll.
Braden's taking tips from Taylor Swift.
Yes. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's why I did this. I think we're going to see some great magic systems. I have no idea what they'll be, and those are my thoughts.
You know, you're right. I think that makes a ton of sense. And even though the magic systems in Mistborn and Stormlight and all of the other parts of the Cosmere are really, really cool, I can see how I can get tiresome writing about the same magic system over and over again, and wanting to explore and create something new and fun and completely different than what you're doing would probably feel like stretching your legs after sitting in a plane for too long, you know?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Good point.
Do we want to talk about anything else before we move to the spoiler section? I don't really know if we can talk about book 4 without spoilers.
Do you have thoughts on what book 3 is about?
3, put the picture up again. Please.
Yeah, I've got thoughts on the cover art. For some reason, those aren't ribbons, but they look a little bit like ribbons.
Yes!
Or like whatever this is on Warbreaker.
Yes!
So,
yep. I think I got major like Chinese cover of Warbreaker vibes from this one.
Let me keep talking.
Yeah.
I haven't even seen the Chinese cover of Warbreaker. Does it look like this?
I have my leather bound, and I will show you.
Really
boy.
bright.
Around
It's
all the
in the Warbreaker leather bound, so he'll show it in
Yeah.
a second.
Awesome.
Let me.
This is my favorite. Warbreaker is my favorite Cosmere book, guys. I know, unpopular opinion, but I don't care.
Oh wait, I didn't hit allow. Whoopsies. That's that cover.
Yes.
But I definitely got like the way the people are drawn, and then
You're talking about this, Greg?
that.
Yeah. Yeah, like ribbons like that. Or like breaths.
Yeah, this the
But
breath.
not that. I think the Chinese cover should be in there.
No, which one?
It's like kind of looks a little bit like stained glass.
Oh, that one? Okay, yeah. I was like, is this it? Also, did you hear that he's not going to be signing any books anymore that aren't leather bound, which makes me real sad because I wanted a complete normal Cosmere collection too, and I won't have it.
Yeah,
I would love for a
kind of
Nightblood.
reminded me of. Let me see. Can I make you big with me not?
I don't know.
Click her picture, maybe?
No.
And then click her picture, I think.
That's not what I want.
Or drag it. I don't know.
Oh,
There we go.
hello, it is me. This is the Chinese cover, and that's the UK cover.
Maybe it looks less like it now that I'm actually seeing it, but like,
But this is the other one. This
yeah,
does
all the
not
breath-
spoil anything. This is like basic tenets of the book. So
Okay, so
you can
I
be
think.
big
Hey, it's Kate's face.
now. It is my face.
All right, I think it's about time we just go into spoilers.
Yes.
Wait, we didn't say what we thought the third one was before spoilers.
Oh, okay. I think it's going to be a romance.
I think it's gonna be romance too.
I thought about that too because he talked about like challenging himself, and at first my immediate thought was genres, but then when he was talking in the live stream, he said like first person. One of these is first person, which I'm guessing the second book will be that one, but I'm not sure. Who knows? And he talked about like the third person ones being like written differently, so then maybe I thought that was his experimenting.
Yeah, he did say he was experimenting with voices.
Yeah. Yep.
Continue.
And then what was my other thought? Oh yeah, genres. So one of the things in his original like set of books that were never published, one was supposed to be more comedy. So I'm like, oh, maybe one will be like satirical somehow, or like a comedy-based magic system. And then I did have the romance thought as well, because Elliot Brooks's video from like a few days ago was like hilarious author combinations, and one of them was Sanderson and a romance author, and I was like, the only way Sanderson would write romance is if he entwined the romance with a magic system. But then I did have that thought with the third book cover because of the pink letters and like the pink on the cover and pink and blue as well. I don't know, maybe like, and yeah. Oh my gosh, I'm just realizing the swirl is like a woman. How am I just realizing that on the
Can you
third
put
cover?
the picture back up? Because
There's-
I don't have it here.
Okay.
It's a hand. I thought he was like pushing something.
No, it's a man and a
Oh my-
woman. It looks like they're circling each other, which is why I think the romance aspect is cool.
Oh,
And
yeah.
can we
That's
move to
the woman.
spoilers? I'll tell you who I think it is.
Or who we've hoped it is.
I think it might be Vasher and his wife, and I think this might be a prequel story.
Okay, we're gonna go into spoilers now.
I just said, can I say it with spoilers?
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you said when we're gonna go into spoilers.
No.
There was very little warning.
I'm
But
sorry. Basher had a wife.
Vasher did have a wife. We won't talk about what happened, but we
Okay,
didn't talk about Bruno.
we're gonna go into full spoilers now and just not go. If you haven't read basically all of the Cosmere,
Well, we won't talk
Yeah.
about like serious Stormlight spoilers.
yeah,
What
there might be
past-
some things we stay away from, but like, we're
Can
not
we
gonna
say
talk-
like if you've read through Way of Kings, you're okay?
Yeah, basically. But like, what's before Way of Kings? What's after Way of Kings? It's all wibbly wobbly. Anyways, Warbreaker.
So it does look a lot like colors, and I get the vibes from Warbreaker and Nalthis. I thought it could possibly be Vasher and his wife, and about like their relationship and like how they worked with the other three people to like create the objects and like make Nightblood. But then when you said that project number 1 looked like a moon and it could be Roshar, I was like, well, what if this is the Kite Magic book? Because he does kind of look, the cover looks very whimsical, and also like the guy kind of looks like he's wearing like a suit jacket or something, and she looks like she's wearing a dress, and it's just very like, I get sort of like circus vibes almost.
Yeah.
Or like not a creepy circus.
Or I get Spren vibes as well from the woman almost.
Yes,
This
that could
could
also
be-
be cognitive.
This could be the Cognitive Realm book.
Oh.
So, real quick about Project 1. I don't think this is going to take place in the Cognitive Realm because there's water.
Oh, duh. I'm dumb. You're so right.
There's
It
no
was
water in the
these
Cognitive
bubbles.
Realm, Kate. It's dry as a bone. Maybe that's why it's so uninteresting to me. I love water, and the Cognitive Realm does not have any.
How can there be a mermaid in the cognitive realm if there's no
I
water?
don't know. They just wander around inside the balls.
Okay.
And that's further than Way of Kings spoilers. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You see why I just said kind of full spoilers? Anyways, so for those of you that have read probably like at least through Oathbringer. Yeah, Oathbringer. Humans do not come from Roshar.
No. No.
They come from a place called Ashen, and I believe the disease-based magic system is actually what he's been trying to put on Ashen.
Yes.
I
What
know
I don't. Oh, sorry.
Because Ethers of the Night is the other one that I think that has been purported to be on Ashen. I could be wrong. I could be getting them completely mixed up.
I will look it up because I have it right here on my computer.
But the disease-based magic system is going to be super interesting. And if this one is on Ashen, because it has a moon in the top, that would be super interesting. Or it could just be he has a title-based magic system, which would be super interesting.
Oh.
Like, imagine like if your powers, like you had certain powers that waxed and waned with how the bodies moved. And like, basically it turns into an astrology-based magic system, sort of. Where,
Okay. Aether of
Martin.
Night says it's supposed to be planned in 3 novels, and that's pretty much all it says.
Okay.
The Silence Divine is a novella set on Ashen where diseases grant magical abilities.
Yeah. I think it's possible that any of these is the Silence Divine outside of number 2. Like he could, like, I don't think we know anything about the plot of Silence Divine, but I don't know.
Greg, you're the resident Elantris person. What do you think of Andrew's comment?
It could be. Yeah, that actually does make sense because weren't there 2 shards of Cell, and in the epigraphs in Way of Kings, were they like romantically involved or whatever, and then they died or something? I don't even know. So it could be that, or I'm not sure. It did say like different worlds, so I'm not sure if there'll be a Elantris prequel or whatever. As much as I would love that,
it could be like, it also could be about, because I'm just struggling to remember which shards were romantically involved. If Ruin and Preservation were
they? I don't even know.
I don't remember. I know Honor and Cultivation were romantically involved. But I wouldn't expect those colors for Honor and Preservation.
Yeah.
You'd expect like green and white, essentially. And that would be a dead giveaway. It also could be like Yolen related. Like they could be directly post Dragonsteel. Hi, we're shards. Now what do we do when we have feelings for each other? How does this work?
I think isn't so. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Weren't we thinking that book 4 is gonna take place on Yolen? I thought it was going to be the Hoyd story that he had an idea for that he was what the heck was it called?
Book 4 is interesting. So going back to kite magic, what Sanderson has, it could be Sunspots. You're right.
The Lyre of Tartanel. Sorry, that's the name of.
I do think it's not possible that this is Kingmaker because that's the sequel to Six of the Dusk. So it's not. So it could be take place on First of the Sun. That's a real possibility, and I would love that.
What's First of the Sun?
It's one of the novellas in Arcanum Unbounded.
Ah, damn, it's like the only thing I haven't read yet.
Six of the Dusk is one of the novellas. And then Kingmaker is something he's read a few chapters from. That's a sequel to that, but takes place during the Space Age. It's complicated. Six of the Dusk technically happens during the Space Age as well. I'm pretty sure, but like, there aren't any spoilers for things. Bye, Andrew. Come back eventually. Do you think the order of the subscription boxes relates to the books? That's an excellent question. I think not, because the Hoyd box is the second box in March. And we are basically confirmed that book 4 is a Hoyd book. So Hoyd is
strong word.
Yeah, it's I think it's very likely, but I listed a few other things that it could be.
What do you think it else could be?
So I think it has to be a world hopper because he's saying it's on a different world, but it's a character we already know.
Yes.
So I guess it could be
connected.
It could be redacted name spoiler for Rhythm of War. It could be like Vasher and that, or like Vivenna maybe or something. I don't know.
Ooh, finally figure out why the heck Vivenna is going after Vasher.
That's actually a really good.
I didn't think about that.
It could be Vasher's run from Nalthis, essentially. Like, we could get more Nightblood. We could get. We know that the 5 scholars were world hoppers before they created Nightblood. What if this is basically just a 5 scholar book?
Is his wife's name Shishara?
I have no idea.
Vasher?
That sounds right. Oh,
no,
also
that sounds like shish.
Sorry. For some reason, the orb on book 4 reminds me of the Elantris cover orbs, which I think are the Seance. Yeah. And I also had a theory that this could be Wraithen later on, because Wraithen was always super mean to Seon, and I feel like holding it like that is like taking away its like whatever.
So
is that how you're supposed to say it? Because I never listened to the audio books. I always called him like Hrathen in my, I don't know.
I think I say Hrathen.
Oh yeah, I say Wraithen.
You're probably doing it right.
I mean, Sanderson's doesn't care.
Silent H.
Wait. Pause. Dramatic pause. Hold on. I've been staring at this 4th book cover since we saw it earlier. And I'm like, what the hell are those things floating in the sky? What the hell are those things floating in the sky? Trying to figure out what they are. Because I was like, they kind of look like alien spacecraft. I don't know. And it just hit me that on Ashen, it's supposed to be floating cities. Would Hoyd have been on Ashen?
I'd be surprised if Hoyd hadn't been on Ashen. So it's entirely possible.
I don't know. Anyway, that just like popped into my brain. But I do think that that's a really good thought, Greg, about him holding like a Seon and that maybe having consequences.
Yep.
It also sort of looks like a gem,
Could be a gem. That's true.
which it would point to Ashen a little bit, maybe just a little bit, because I don't know if they brought Stormlight gems up to Ashen pre-Calamity.
Wait. Could it be Thydakar trying to bring investiture from Roshar to another planet to see if
Oh,
it
that's-
works?
It's not Hoyd, it's Thydakar. I mean, it could totally be Thydakar. That'd be really interesting. But Thydakar is also going to be the focus of Mistborn Era 3.
Yeah.
And I guess technically you could say he's already gotten his own books.
Technically. He will be. So I think that's also a very real possibility, but I'm still stuck on Hoyd.
Yeah, I'm like 99% sure it's Hoyd. I kind of, well, maybe not 99%, maybe like 80%. But I've just been thinking of other possibilities too.
What's your list, Greg? I want to know because it sounds like you've made a list, and I want to know what's inside your brain.
Yeah, it was Hoyd, and then character from Rhythm of War that we found out that was a world hopper, whose name I am not mentioning if we aren't giving Rhythm of War spoilers.
Who am I not thinking of? Will you type it in our chat?
Yeah.
Please.
Let's see. Well, Rhythm of War might not be the best book to.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, and then Vasher, and then this could be the Vasher book and not book 3. That would make a lot of sense as well. And let's see. Oh, and then Wraithen, which is like a long shot, very long shot.
But you want more Elantris.
Kind of, yeah. And oh yeah, who were the world hoppers in book 1 of Way of Kings from the other worlds?
Oh, there's that one stupid name that I can't ever remember. There was that woman. Axwindith. Axwindith.
You muted, Pete.
Axwindleth was from book 2. Book 1, we had a random Elantrian. I know who it is. I can't remember his name. Raoden?
Duladin.
Groudon?
It wasn't
It's
him.
it was Raiden's friend from
Yeah, the one who dissolved, quote unquote.
Yeah.
There's Chris, who's from Taldane.
Yeah, White Sand.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read it yet, but like
I haven't either.
I backed the Indiegogo thing, so I'm gonna get the compendium, which is gonna be great. I can't remember if there were anyone else, but Exwindleth was from Exwindleth was technically in all of them because she was in the flashbacks. So we're actually I think we're gonna see her again in book 5 prologue.
Yeah.
It's Seth's book. So yeah, that's pretty good possibility.
Yeah, because we're gonna get Galavar's POD, which is gonna be so interesting.
Ugh, I hate Galavar.
I know we hate him, but we want the answers.
I do have the answers because I for the video that I'm planning, like I did like a weird quick read flip through Rhythm of War, and I read all the parts where he is mean, and I was like, "Dang you, Gavilar! Why would you do this?"
I hope you die. Oh wait, that happened already.
So I had to pull up the things because I can't really see them very well on my computer because I can't.
Yeah.
So if you look at the 4th one down here, there's like the gray things. They look like buildings, like modern day buildings.
Yep.
Not like Rosharan buildings, not like anything crazy. They look like, it gives me very much like Area 51 Nevada desert, like experimental scientist vibes, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, especially with just how the sun is drawn and everything like that.
It's very like Orwellian almost.
Yeah.
It looks like the building on the right has smokestacks or something.
Oh my gosh, it's set in England.
Oh, good lord.
It's the Industrial Revolution
Yes.
with
So could those
floating
be
cities.
floating cities, or could those be
Wild thought.
hmm?
What if this is the kite magic book?
It's
Those
not
could
pretty
be
enough
kite.
to be the kite magic book.
I know, but hear me out. So when Sanderson has talked about kite magic, the first time he talked about it, he didn't actually talk about kites, but he talked about he was thinking about outlining a book where Hoyd was stuck on a planet and had to figure out the magic system. And then later on, when he specifically talked about kite magic, and he was like, well, I was thinking about doing this book with kite magic where one of Hoyd's apprentices is stuck on a planet and they have to figure out the magic system. What if he went full circle and it's still kite magic, but he put Hoyd back in it? It could be a thing.
It could be a thing.
Yeah. Maybe we
I do think
met Hoyd's apprentice too somewhere.
Wait, what? We've met Hoyd's apprentice?
we've met
No,
one.
maybe we have. Oh,
Oh, well, one of them, yeah. Who's the? Can I say that?
Yeah, this is like spoiler for the
Sigzil.
Way of Kings.
Yeah, Sigzil.
Yeah, Sigzil.
Oh.
He's a world singer now.
I don't think it would
Yeah.
be Sigzil though.
No, because Sigzil's still with Bridge 4.
Yeah, this reference he specifically says one of Hoyd's apprentices plural. So like Sigzil's not the only one.
Though I love Sigzil.
He is great. I think he needs more time on the screen.
Mm-hmm. I'm still I want all the answers and watch them. I'm torn between watching his live streams though, because I don't want to know too much about the books, and if he's going to be reading like the first couple chapters for each book, like that's a lot.
I think I'm probably not going to read the chapters, but I will probably listen to what people say it's about, or like if he talks about what it's about or puts out the title.
Yeah, I'll look at the title, I'll look at alternate art, and like if he says what character book 4 is, like I'll listen to that, and I'm sure I'll get some more information, but I don't think I'll be a viewer of the live streams either.
Yeah. I mean, so he's really dedicated to making sure that all the spoilers for these books stay separate from like normal stuff, because he says he wants people to go in with this whole like secret date with a book type of idea where they go in knowing zero and it's just it gets given to them.
Well, he could give us nothing. Apparently $11 million worth of people will do this knowing nothing. So if he really wanted us to be blind, he could just withhold everything. He has the power.
He's done it for like 2.5 years.
He enjoyed that live stream. He enjoyed posting that video today way more than I ever thought he would have. You just like, could you imagine when he pressed the button, just like
maniacal laughter,
watching all of the reactions of everyone.
Yeah, he posted that first video and I was like, wait, this is going too far. They think I have cancer.
Yes. Who's Naz? Nazh?
He is a world hopper. He's the one that draws all the maps. Like if you ever look at the maps and you see like annotations and stuff like them on them, that's Naz. Chris sends him to do like the dirty work essentially. And then I think he also writes like in the back of the books, the arcanums that tell you about the magic system. I'm 90% sure that he writes those too.
Doesn't Chris write the backs of the books of the Stormlight Archive? Isn't that who's supposed to be the one who?
It's either Chris or Naz, maybe both. They're both from the 17th Shard, so.
Isn't there like a version of White Sands in here? It's not like the full thing, but close.
Yeah. So there is the start of the prose version. Chris doesn't appear in it though.
Oh.
It's like the first chapter essentially.
Interesting. Apparently, so you said you didn't know what the Apocalypse Guard was. says it's a follow-up for the Reckoners series, which is the one with Steelheart. Originally set in the Reckoners universe and had potential to cross over into the Cytoverse. Interesting.
Could be how Sanderson just ties everything together. Oh, I think I've heard about that one. That's basically where people just go and try to prevent apocalypses in multiverse in a multi-dimensional thing.
Huh.
It's like the opposite of Fifth Season.
I wonder what book cover that could possibly match with.
I wonder.
Definitely
Actually, yeah, that's a
project number 2.
No, obviously 4. Hoyd's going to be the Apocalypse Guard.
No. Now I want to know, though, because you both brought up really good points about what he's holding in his hand.
All the mysteries.
The
There's
sand
always
or a gem. But do you think it would be one of those, like one of the perfectly sculpted gems that holds?
Do you know what else it could be?
A firefly in a jar.
Croissant.
A croissant?
A croissant. A glowing croissant. There's glowing croissant magic.
I think that would be great. A glowing croissant.
All right, so here's my wild theory about book 4. It's not about Hoyd. It's about Stick. The title, I Am Fire. And it's about Stick becoming a human because of Ishar, and then learning the joys of eating.
Guys, I didn't think that it could be any. What if... No, they wouldn't be the heralds. None of them would be heralds. I thought maybe that was on Braze at one point. Book 4. I was like, could it be on Braze?
I think that's unlikely because that Braze is essentially going to be the focus of the second part of Stormlight.
You think so?
Heralds. Yeah, because books 8 and 9 are from Ash and Talm's perspectives, the flashbacks. So we're supposed to get more on the heralds and more on their story throughout the rest. Because in reality, we know very little about the Desolations, like how they work and everything. Like if you really delve into it, we don't know that much. So that's what the latter half is supposed to.
How they create, like why they made the Oath Pact and like how that worked and everything.
Yep.
Ooh. Weird theory. It's a prequel about Odium, and it's the story of his,
It's the story of Threnody.
I don't know anything about Threnody, because I still haven't read Arcanum Unbounded.
Read Arcanum Unbounded. Threnody is great, and the little you know of, because that was where Ambition was, and then Odium and Mercy shattered him. Well, we don't know what Mercy's role was, actually. But essentially something happened with Ambition that turned Threnody into what it is now. Odium was attacking Ambition. Mercy was involved. These are like super spoilers, essentially.
So I'm looking at Secret Project 1 again because I have ADHD and they're colorful. And it looks like the girls... I take back she's probably a mermaid thing because it looks like she's kneeling on that rock and she has like a dress on. So it looks like she has some sort of like a belt. And then she has that cup behind her that she's reaching back for. Almost like she's going to grab it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know. I'm taking back my mermaid comment.
I mean, it still could be a mermaid. I mean, I know Murphy Napier is probably super excited for it to be a mermaid.
Or does she like mermaids?
She's obsessed with mermaids.
Oh, I want more to go off of. I want more knowledge.
Do you guys have any closing thoughts on this?
I had stuff written down.
Yeah, I don't have
Inception.
Inception, indeed. Oh, he did say that the narrative in 4 is unlike anything he's written before, and that it's going to probably be rather polarizing. So if you like that narrative style, you'll really enjoy it. And if you don't, you're going to absolutely hate it. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like maybe
second person Hoyd.
not second person, but maybe like journalistic style or something, or like a diary style.
Oh, that could be interesting.
Yeah,
I
because
was thinking about that. Yeah.
that's the only one I can think of that like is really, really different. Because I mean, if he's just going to do first person versus third person, whatever, like that's not going to be a real big thing. What's the what would be the point of doing second person? What would it give the audience to have a second person point of view?
A, to be facetious. B, to be to really delve into Hoyd's like voice and push the unreliable narrator trope.
He is the most unreliable of unreliable narrators. Da, 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 da.
This is wild.
If
What
it
do you-
is, huh?
What do you think, Greg?
I don't know. I have no idea. It's all just total guessing. Yeah, I think they're all. I was trying to think of like unique ways to do third person that would make sense for him to do, and I don't even know. But yeah, I guess I did think of the journal thing a little bit, and that would be interesting to read Hoyd's journal entries,
Hey, Nathan.
or maybe it could be a you know, like it could be like King Killer Chronicles or Assassin's Apprentice, where Hoyd's like telling his story to someone. It could be Hoyd doing that for like the entire book, rather than just like a scene here or there.
So, Anita, we have progressed into super spoilers.
But I feel like we're at the end, and so we're almost not really talking about super spoilers anymore.
We're more talking about theories involving Mr. Hoyd,
Yes.
who you have met. You probably may not remember.
No, actually, Anita
He has
hasn't
not
read
read
anything.
any of it yet.
What? I thought she read Mistborn.
Not yet.
No.
Greg
Okay.
thinks that she's gonna love it.
Yep.
Anita, go back to the beginning because that's when we did spoiler-free stuff.
Oh shoot. What I was just about to say something and then I forgot. Oh yeah, that would be very on brand for Hoyd. Would be for it to be. That is true. That is very true, and I forgot about that. Be very on brand for Hoyd to be narrating his own story. I also thought it could be potentially like he wouldn't write in like poetry or verse, but he totally could, and that would be very polarizing.
That would
Like
be super polarizing.
Like Shakespearean type, like as you know, or in Cadets.
Guys, if he does that, I'm gonna have to do the audiobook because I can't stand reading Shakespeare. I can see it performed, and I love seeing it performed. I can't read it for the life of me.
I feel like he said he wrote book 4 very quickly when he was talking about it in the live stream today. So I don't think he'll like do any like anything too insane with book 4, or like too difficult to just put the word count in.
Yeah, I didn't catch that part. My mom called me at some point, so I wasn't watching every single point. Bye, Anita. But if he did write it in diary format, then that would probably be a really fast write than having to like make everything like it is when you're writing normal prose. So that definitely makes my sense too. I like that a lot, actually. And I did forget about that he said, Pete, I don't know if you saw that or heard that earlier, but that the second book, he quotes a lot from something else that he's written in it.
So he's like, quoting a book within a book?
Yes.
Like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. Like, you know how in The Way of Kings, like a lot of the epitaphs are from the book. Oh, my stomach is making weird noises. I'm sorry. Like he quotes a lot from The Way of Kings. I think it's kind of like that. And if it is about, you know, them preventing apocalypses in the multiverse,
there could be some interesting narratives there.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I was trying to look up the stuff about the shards of Sel because I want to know more about that.
Devotion and Dominion. I don't actually remember if they were male and female.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I can't remember either.
Do I have that up here? I might have that up here. Hold on 1 second.
But that would be interesting. A very tragic story if they decided to do that for book 3. Like, what if like he did the love story for Devotion and Dominion, and then Odium comes in and wrecks them? Tragic.
Yeah, it was a boy and a girl.
Okay.
Dominion was held by Sky, Skai, and then Devotion was held by Aona.
Interesting.
Oh, that makes me sad now. Very sad. If Brandon needs to stop making me cry, because I'm not supposed to cry like this in fantasy novels, and I cry all the time in his books.
Excuse the dog, but does anybody have any final thoughts they want to talk about?
No.
I'm all
scratched
set.
my conspiracy itch, I think.
You're good.
We'll find out on Thursday whether or not any of our okay, so what are our final predictions? Do we have final predictions? Tentative final predictions?
I think book 3 will be similar magic to Warbreaker somehow on like a different planet. I think book 1 will be very crazy, something very unique. I think book 1 will be like the most unique. I don't know why I say that. And book 4 will probably follow around Hoyd, and he'll do something on some new planet.
Cause massive destruction somehow.
Yep.
My main prediction is just that we get Hoyd for book 4, and one of the books is Kite Magic. That's kind of it. I'm just excited for Kite Magic, guys.
I'm super pumped for Whimsy. I think we're gonna get Kite Magic. I think we're gonna get Disease Magic, and I think we're gonna get Hoyd. I think it's gonna be good. I think we're gonna get a lot of answers. I'm super, super excited because I just feel like all of these projects have felt so far in the future, and there were all these things where it's like, oh, these cool things that he's teased, but we're never going to see them because it's going to take forever to get everything else caught up. And then, boom, this beautiful surprise, it's making lemonade out of the pandemic, and I love that. And what else are we going to read in 2023 other than Sanderson? Because we have this. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to have to reread the Stormlight Archive to prepare for book 5, because it's been a long time since I read, The Way of Kings. So I have to.
It's going to be the Year of the Crab.
Year of the Crab. I like that. The Year of the Crab.
Oh, also, you know what else will be the problem? Everyone will want follow-ups, sequels for all these books, and then Elantris, Warbreaker, and like it'll just expand the problem.
It's gonna go from 37 to 60 different books.
Oh my goodness! No, he's got to give us Didn't you know Elantris is going to be a trilogy?
That's what it says online. Yeah,
that's exciting for you.
Yes,
I think it's fine as a. I honestly, with Warbreaker and Elantris, I would like to see more. But I think they're fine as standalones.
Yeah, they're okay right now. Yeah,
I do think that it's great because we're getting a lot more entry points for the Cosmere. Because books 1 and 3 are entry points for the Cosmere, which is great. Mm-hmm. So we're going to have a lot more diversity of being able to recommend books to people and get people, in it.
I agree. Which is why my first idea of what I wanted book 3 to be about is definitely not the case, because it won't be an entryway into the Cosmere, because I wanted it to be about Susebron and Ciri, because I thought that would have been cute, and I ship them. But that would be super big spoilers for Warbreaker, so it's not the entry point.
Even Vasher and his wife would be like at least some spoilers for Warbreaker.
Yeah.
If Nightblood was involved, yes. But what if it's a story before they decide
before he
start.
actually like becomes Warbreaker.
Yeah, because there's like a whole thing that happens. Maybe it's before he gets reborn.
But they were together after he was reborn.
Were they together before, or was it only after? I don't remember. I should reread Warbreaker.
Yeah.
Interesting. Dang it! I just want more Warbreaker, guys.
You should
Yeah,
read.
I feel like Stormlight might get postponed.
No,
No.
no.
She's postponing it.
I see.
No.
I still think the publication still might get postponed. That would be a guess at a possibility of
It's
what
a possibility. I think if anything gets postponed, the Words of Radiance Kickstarter gets postponed.
Yeah.
When they said that in the live stream today, she was like, because of the blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, I didn't miss another one, did I? I'm not prepared to drop $200 more on Sanderson this year. I'm not prepared.
Yeah, no.
Too much money. So
Too much money.
yes. Thanks for talking conspiracies and spoilers. This is like one of my favorite. The reason why I love Sanderson so much, on top of his awesome, like hard magic systems, because I love a good hard magic system, is the amount of detail he puts into everything and how everything has such meaning. The reason I think that we can get a lot from the covers of these books is because even the little icons at the tops of the chapters in Stormlight Archive have like meaning to them. Like they're important things for the story. And so everything has a point when it comes to Sanderson, and I just love twisting it all around in my brain. So thanks for having me and talking all of the conspiracy theories.
Yeah, thanks for coming, guys. I really appreciate you coming.
Thanks for having us.
For suggesting that we do this.
Yeah, I was kind of like, guys, we should do this. Because why not? Because it's Surprise Sanderson.
Why not? Everybody else did. I mean, we didn't get a super special email, so why shouldn't we do something else?
No.
I want to get on that email list.
Right. Become best friends with Daniel Green. Maybe you'll get on.
Maybe.
I'll have to get on Elliot's email list, maybe, because she had people on. So
I used to live in the same town as Alex Nieves. I don't think he was on the list. I think he was just invited by Elliot.
Yeah.
He probably knew very little, but Elliot also, and like Daniel Green and them probably only were told like, hey, you should go live. I mean, you don't have to, but like you should.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure Michael Knipp was invited to Elliot Brooks's stream. I don't know if he got the email though. The email.
Yeah, it's tough, like on short notice in the middle of a weekday. But
yeah, it was a weird announcement.
He probably only picked booktubers who he knew did booktube for like a living. Because like Daniel Green and Elliot Brooks do that for their job. I wonder if Murphy got.
He's also
he's done interviews with them.
Yeah, he's done interviews with them before.
Yeah, I think because he knows that people will wait for Stormlight because it's a masterpiece. It's his masterpiece. And so we'll wait for it because we don't want him to rush it. Because what I think probably book 5, book 6, and book 10 are going to be the most important for him to really nail in the series, because book 5 is the end of the first arc. Book 6 is like, are we going to like the second arc? Are we going to like where this is going now? Like, it's been 5 years. What's happening? And then he has to stick the landing. Personally, I am nervous for our sad boys' life expectancy, but it's fine. While I watched the replay of Elliot's stream earlier, and someone in the comments was like, I'm worried for Kaladin's safety. What's he gonna say in the stream? I'm killing Kaladin off in this book. Be prepared. Like, Pete, you're muted.
Oh. He's gonna say in between books 4 and 5, Kaladin had a Hallmark romance.
No, Kaladin gets married and divorced between books 4 and 5, and then the entire female reading community comes after him.
Yeah, because considering books 4 and 5 like are right on top of each other. One day.
Yes, one day. Exactly.
That'd be hilarious. Anyways. It's time. Closing time. I would sing the song, but I probably don't have the money for it.
Oh, yeah. For rights, yes. Goodbye, solo.
Bye.
I don't know where you're going, but you can't stay here. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you for showing up, Kate and Greg, and thank you for dealing with my technical difficulties that I had no idea was going to happen. But I still felt they were going to happen.
At least you weren't 20 minutes late for a live stream that had 300 people watching.
Yay! It's a Y'all have a wonderful night. Make sure to get some rest after this exciting day.
Very exciting.
And just y'all are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
Bye.